Gonna be a quick night, we're short people. Or keep it short. You rise for the pledge. The pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I didn't either. I've gone away. All right. Do we have any public input tonight?
Yes.
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 Yes, yes, and yes. They said yes first. Go ahead.
I'm Jeffrey Lewis, 2 Eastbrook Street, Walton. On my water bill, you guys have double charged me for maintenance. It was paid with my taxes. I've got that receipt, and you've charged me again this month. She said she couldn't do anything. I needed to bring it up to you guys.
So the bill's twice, or just,
No, didn't they go twice?
did you guys go over twice to take care of the water?
Only once overtime. The last time was during the day, and you said it was a $25 charge for the block, but that was it.
Okay.
But there's $100 there. And miscellaneous, and it's also on that one.
So it's just a duplicate bill, isn't it?
And they really charged
That's
me.
his tax bill. That happened before April.
Okay.
Okay, so the water meter broke, and then they had to replace a bottom,
Right.
so they were billed for that, and then overtime. Were they called out to go back and do that? Shut the water off?
During the day, no.
That was during the day, but we had to go, turn it off from the water meter bottom.
That was in December or January.
Yeah, well, that was the first time, that was at nighttime.
Right, that was the overtime one. That was, I understood that.
That's the $100
That's
one.
what that is.
Then
Okay.
another time we had to go back during the day because he had a bad water leak in the
Yeah,
basement.
on the bottom, the
with no
plate.
valve that works, so we had to
Yeah.
shut the water off in the street. He did a repair, turned it back on, didn't work, but he back, turn it off again.
That was the original time.
That was during the day.
Yeah,
So it's just during regular business hours, that one was?
yeah.
So there's a charge then for that one?
That I don't,
Is there on that one? We don't normally during business hours.
Not during business, that's what I was told.
Okay.
That's why I didn't have a problem with the first $100 that was paid through the taxes.
So this one here then is on, oh, this $25 here.
Yeah, that 25, I understand, that's for the plate.
meter
Yep.
bottom.
Yeah. there's no-
And you already took care of the $100 one already.
Yes. I should be able to pay the 155, and that should take care of it instead of 255.
I don't see where the other 100 is, because this is just a duplicate of this bill, isn't it?
Right, that was just the taxes he did. And it would, this here.
This is the
This is
new,
the one that needs to be
right now.
adjusted then, because
I guess that's what you're saying.
this one here was not done during business hours, so we have to trust that one. Okay, so we can do that, right?
If you guys tell us to do that, yes.
Okay, you guys understand that? That was done during
For
the,
overtime during a daytime call.
no billing for overtime, yes, it's just a regular call, and that's what happened. They got billed as overtime. These two are already, this one's already done, taken care of.
Yeah, that was-
This is just a duplicate of that, and then he needs the 25, but that $100 there should not be, because it was done during business hours. This one he understands, that one's the one he wants to have taken off.
I mean, I have the two bills before that one, there's no
Yeah,
charge for it, and this one is the new one.
the one was just carried over.
So if that's what you guys want me to do, I need a motion.
That would have been the 2 bills before, and there's no charge for the 100. That's this year, between the one that I did pay and these. And then that one showed up.
So what are you gentlemen?
So what needs to be fixed is $100 less for regular time instead of overtime.
Right. They said there's no overtime, it's just during regular hours, so it needs to be deducted that $100.
I would motion that we take the $100 off to make it correct.
I would agree with that.
Any second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Take care of that.
All right, thank you. And then tomorrow I just come in and pay her for the other part of it? Is that how,
You want to do it tomorrow,
or I
or?
do it tonight?
Yeah,
Do
that's
it right now if you want?
Okay, tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's next? Oh, Keith had his hand up.
Yeah, I've got a few questions for the board.
We'll give you a few answers if we can.
Okay, I hope so. And I've been asked these questions by several people. Why were the concrete barriers placed behind McDonald's and CVS? And are they temporary or permanent?
They're permanent,
They're permanent. And why?
because that out back there, they're using those throughways, and they're not. The ones from McDonald's especially, we fixed it for them last year. They were under the understanding they were gonna redo the parking lot, and then they were gonna start taking care of that as their own parking lot section to Water Street. They don't want anything to do with it now. They're just gonna take care of their parking lot. And then the ones behind Big M or not Big M, excuse me, CVS in there, because of what's being gone out back there with everything all dug out and, well, it looks like fresh grass, it's starting to grow. Just to keep people from running around out back through there, because we do have trouble with them going out there tearing up the lawn by the well house. And we just kind of figured if we have less traffic through there, we're gonna have less trouble with people going down in the field. So,
Well, you can block off that one to the road, or to the water house. Years ago, this board approved a deal with McDonald's that if McDonald's would allow drive-through, that the village would maintain that little strip in between Water Street and McDonald's.
it had to have been a verbal one, because we've asked before.
It was a verbal one, and it was agreed to way back then, and it made it much easier for people. The whole idea of Water Street in the first place was, and this goes way back, was to help relieve the traffic under the red light, especially Fair Week and when the school lets out, because of the congestion at lunchtime particularly, that people could go down and then have an exit out the end of Water Street. And those two, not so much maybe with CVS, but particularly with McDonald's, that was an agreement that it's very minimal for the village to do that little section right there, to be able to have an access off Water Street and on to Delaware Street, just like between the laundromat and Tony's shoe store. That's an access, but that's privately owned, and they could shut that off whenever they want to.
That's the same thing as McDonald's too.
Well, but...
Privately owned, they could do the same.
Exactly, but...
By Tony's shoe store though, that's an actual agreement. It's in paper, contract.
Okay, so why don't the village do the same thing with McDonald's
They don't.
That's private
on a
property.
year-to-year basis? What?
And the other problem is too, is people are going through there at a very high rate of speed, somebody's gonna get hurt bad. School traffic, kids beating us traffic lights, it gets pretty bad down there.
I drive through there all the time,
Yeah.
and I don't have a problem. I don't see other people having a problem particularly. On CVS, it's going to create a real problem for them, particularly during the winter months, to be able to get a tractor trailer backed in to unload their product. You want to talk about problem with people getting hurt? Old people going into CVS and they're backing a tractor trailer in there in the middle of the winter. It's going to be a problem off of Delaware Street. It's going to be a problem.
That's the only place they back a tractor trailer in. They don't come off of Water Street.
No,
Never have.
no, they don't.
They always come off of Delaware and back.
They pull out back there and they can unload, and they can't drive on out through there to exit. But let me ask you this. Were either of those businesses approached before those concrete barriers were put up?
I myself spoke to Don a couple times at McDonald's.
Yep.
Well, I spoke to both of the managers, Don and the manager of CVS. They told me neither one of them were approached about putting barriers out there. And they would rather they weren't there, which gives access for people to exit. The other thing, just to bring up something pertaining to business, we have a very, thankfully, large business growing over on William Street, and their employees have a half an hour for lunch. If they get caught under that red light in a heavy traffic situation, many of them probably even go to McDonald's, I imagine, for lunch. They're being cut off. They have a half an hour for lunch, and many times they're late getting back because they get caught under that red light. And that's been a problem in this village for as long as I've been to Walton, and as long as everybody else has been here, I'm sure. The other thing, I guess my other concern, is that a flood zone?
What's that?
Where those, Water Street, is that a flood zone?
The floodway
It's a floodway.
over on the one side.
Oh.
Not where it drops down
So
over.
the village can place debris and obstacles in a floodway, and that's okay?
I don't know of any
If
debris.
I did that, I sure couldn't do it.
It's not a permanent structure. It could be moved.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't, Steve.
I've asked the guys about the flood business if things could be put there, and they said, yes, they can.
And yet if someone else puts something in temporarily, they're in violation, fined $100 or $5,000 a day. Example, Brakey's Liquor Store. Example, Ken Landry's, when he put that little pile of gravel in to put the putting green in his location, was told, get it out, you can't have it, wait a minute, temporary. He was using that gravel to build his little putting course. There's two sides to this whole baloney on floodway and who can do this and who can't. In the floodway also, and I have no problem with it, there's a 40-foot container sitting on Dollar General. Is that in the floodway?
It's temporary. They're rebuilding.
Temporary.
Yeah.
You can do that temporary.
As long as you get the proper permits from our code enforcement officer,
Did the
sure.
village have a permit for that down
They'd
there?
have to ask code enforcement, but I'm sure they must have.
I'd like to see that. But anyway, that's irrelevant. I think to be a little more business friendly, we've lost a lot of our businesses in this community, and we've lost a lot of them in our business district, which come off the tax roll. No village tax, no town tax, no county tax, no school tax, no fire tax, no police, nothing. And what do these businesses get for their tax dollars? You don't plow their street, you don't shovel their sidewalk. They have two things. They have a street light and police. And they pay big taxes, big taxes. And what are we doing to them? We're blocking off some access. Why? Because you got a little strip there that needs a little, and we just drew how many 100,000 yards of dirt out of Water Street that could have filled those potholes and stuff behind CVS at practically nothing. Has McDonald's complained about people speeding through there and whatever? Then if that is a problem, let's have police sitting down there maybe times when this is supposedly primarily taken care of or happening, and that'll slow them down.
All right, Kate, what else have you got on your list? Anything?
That's it. I think it's. I just wanted the board to be aware of it.
Yep.
I'm, as a fellow business person in this town and a Chamber of Commerce vice president, I'm very disappointed about what was done and just done without any consideration to the businesses.
Keith, I know the regional manager for McDonald's does object to having traffic going through there.
The
She
regional
spoke to me,
man-
regional manager
Of McDonald's?
of this area of McDonald's.
Is he here?
She.
She? Is she
No,
here?
She's not here.
How about the people that live here day to day to day to day?
I'm just telling you, she complained.
Well, and it does affect other businesses, not just theirs, so. What little bit it would cost to do that, I think that's a very inexpensive exit. Also, from a safety standpoint, if that red light is jammed up with traffic and an ambulance comes out of the ambulance squad or the fire department, and they could shoot through that to go out Water Street, to go over to the school to save somebody's life or put a fire out, gee, wouldn't that be kind of nice to be able to do that? I would think so. And many people that I've talked to have felt the same way. But,
Okay. Thanks, Keith.
okay, just my opinion. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for giving me the time to
You betcha.
vent.
Gary, go ahead.
Yeah, I am trying to get a tax amount due on one of your properties that's up for tax sale. And I'm told I can't get it unless I pay $20 for it. I'm trying to...
That's the normal fee for doing a search on
Well,
taxes
for a
and
tax
water.
search, a tax, water, and sewer, I'm not asking for that. All I'm asking for is the amount that you guys have on this one property. You know what it is, because you're putting it up for tax sale. If the taxpayer walked in and asked to pay it, would you charge $20 to let them pay it?
For the owner?
Yeah.
No,
So the owner can come in and get that
as far as
for
I,
free?
as far as I know, right?
'Cause
So
I'm
what
not looking for-
information are you looking for?
Well, I'm just looking
Just
for
the
an amount. I
taxes, or
don't
you
want-
need
I
to
don't
know
want a
the
tax-
attorney
I'm not-
fees? Do you need to know?
I'm not looking for tax, water, and sewer search. We're not at that level yet. If we get, what we've got to establish is, we got an offer. I gotta put together those figures to see whether they can be paid off with the offer. That's all I'm looking for. And I shouldn't have to pay $20 for it. When you go to the bank and ask how much you have to pay your mortgage off, they give it to you for free. You call any creditor, you ask them, how much do I need to
So
pay?
you're not looking for the search on everything, you
No,
just
I don't
want to know what the
search.
total is. Well, see,
When we get that far, I'll
That
ask for a
wasn't-
search. All I'm
it
looking
wasn't
for
presented
is
that
the
way then.
redemption
Okay.
figure, which should be
right.
freely available.
there isn't a problem with that. Evidently, it wasn't presented to this place
It was
that way.
presented just like that. I
Well-
just asked for the redemption figure. I've been told, not only that I couldn't have it unless I paid $20,
Mm-hmm.
but anybody who gave me that figure would get punished. I mean, that's crazy.
That number you can get. This is the one for the search you
I want
don't.
that figure then, you know what property I'm asking for, and I need it tomorrow morning, because I've got a lot of figures to put together to see whether it's possible to save this property.
Get them for tomorrow, right? Okay. Who else? Yes.
Well, first I should ask Jody, I sent you an email, it was late Friday. Were you able to receive that?
I forwarded it on to the board.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I'm here addressing. Am I on the schedule later, or should I just address it now?
No, you're on now.
Okay, basically I received a water bill on a property I just purchased up on East Street. And the water bill, or actually I got a delinquent notice. There's two issues with this particular bill. The delinquent notice was sent to me. We never received the original water bill. I believe Jody said they were sent out on the 3rd of July. Is that when water bills are normally sent out?
Yep.
Okay, according to, she asked me to contact Misty afterwards. I contact Misty. Evidently, you didn't receive the information that I purchased the property until July 10th. So that bill did not come to me. I received a delinquent notice, and there are charges on that for that almost $48, $49 because I didn't pay the original water bill, which obviously didn't come to me because it wasn't on the rolls at that time.
Did you get your other 3 water bills?
Yes.
And you didn't think to ask for this one?
I had called to let you guys know that I had purchased the property. Also, we hadn't used any water at that facility. There was no reason for me to question that because I had it turned on the month before that there was not any thing there. So anyway, I'm asking for you to remove that $49 fee, or 49 and change, I believe it is. In the second part of this, there was a broken water meter because a previous owner had not drained it properly. For whatever reason, the water meter that was there was broken. When they came to turn on the water, they had to, they turned it on, they saw it was leaking, and they changed the water meter out right then. When they did it, they charged me, I believe, $146, which I don't feel is, it wasn't my negligence that caused that meter to break, and I would ask you guys to remove that fee as well.
Okay.
You bought the property as is, where is?
I bought the property with due diligence. My attorney contacted this office about any charges that were going to be on it. I contacted this office specifically about the water bill to make sure there was nothing that was past due at that
Okay,
time.
but there was nothing past due. The meter froze, it was frozen when you bought the place.
It was not my negligence that caused that meter.
Your negligence was not knowing that the water meter was broken.
It is
We don't
utility's
come out and check the
responsibility to
water
provide their
service.
meter. Unless I break it, then you can charge me for one. But it is your responsibility to
You
provide the
bought a
meter.
broken meter, correct?
Excuse me?
You bought a property with a broken meter.
I bought a property that had no previous charges on it from
Correct.
them.
This
I
is-
feel that I did my due diligence, and I'm asking you to remove that fee, please.
If you buy a property and don't properly inspect it, whatever you find, you find. I don't see where the meter even comes about.
Your issue is with the previous owner. He is the one, his negligence is the one that
We don't-
broke your meter.
You didn't buy it with any warranty from us that your meter worked.
So I'll just put a piece of pipe in there. Is that what you're fine with? If you want me to provide service for that building, because you're charging me, it is your meter that is calculating how many gallons of water is there, and I feel that it is utilities. NYSEG supplies me with a meter. Do you not supply me with a meter?
Originally, yes.
I am asking that you remove this fee because I have not had a chance to have a good meter at that property.
We have no recourse against the previous owner.
I don't know anything about that. I mean, if you saw the property was vacant, perhaps it's because it's your meter, perhaps you should take the time to go and maintain it.
Or remove it.
Or remove it. So, anyway, I'm asking for the late fees to be waived because there was no bill sent out to us. Jody, you know that every one of our bills that comes to us, we pay them, like right then. So, and asking to waive that fee on the meter as well.
All right, gentlemen, what would you like to do?
We have in the last few months had several people had freezes and so forth when they weren't here, weren't aware with it, hot water heater broke, something like that.
That's their negligence when it's their property.
I understand they're responsible for the bill. Is the landlord or the person who owns the property responsible? Yes, you could put a pipe in there and you would be billed on an estimated charge, and we've done that in the past. And I'm sorry, if you bought a piece of property, if when you had the water turned on, or turned it on beforehand, we would not have known about the meter until you did it. You haven't shut it off, then it's your responsibility to replace the meter.
I feel that meter is your property, it is your responsibility. Unless it was my negligence that broke that meter, and you want to charge me for water, you need to provide a meter.
That's right.
I'm opposed to it.
Okay.
I don't know about you.
I would waive the late fees, but with a broken meter, we've had very similar issues with other properties, and we didn't waive it then. I would say absolutely waive the late fees, but the meters, when you buy a property, you buy its problems too.
Do you want to make that a form of a motion, or what do you guys like to do?
I'll make it as a form of motion. When you buy a property as is, it is as is. Whatever problems come with it, come with it.
What about the fees?
Excuse me?
Are you making a,
Did you skip your bill because you didn't, you had every opportunity to get on and ask if there was a bill.
I'm for waiving the fees and not for the meter. That's, so I don't know if those are gonna be separate motions.
You want to do it two separate motions?
You had to make the motion.
I move that we waive the late fees.
Okay. Good.
All right, I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor on waiving the late fee?
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Opposed? That part's carried. I'll go to the second part.
I make a motion, we don't replace the meter. You buy it as is.
I second.
Okay, motion made, seconded to not pay for the water meter?
Can I ask you a question before you?
Not
move
right
it?
now.
No?
No.
Okay, go ahead. I'll ask it after.
Yep. Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Let me ask you a question
What's
on
your
that.
answer? Yes.
If the person that owned that took that meter out, so when he bought it, there was no meter in there, would this village then charge him to put a new meter in there?
Just like buying a house without a meter, yeah.
Really? You charge me to put my meters in my businesses?
If there was nothing in there, if there was nothing in there.
If you build a new house, you'd buy the meter.
No,
yeah.
I bought an old house, but whoever had it before took the meter out. I don't know who took it. Did the village take it? I don't know. Or did the guy who owned it take it? Who's responsible there?
Okay, let's go on to the next. Who else had new business to be brought?
You're right. You're wrong.
Well, I always think so.
Steve, I just have a question about those barriers. You mentioned that they could be removed, that they are temporary fixtures, but that your intent was to leave them there permanently.
Yes.
Do you see that, or does your code enforcement or floodplain manager see that as a conflict with blocking the floodway because your intent is to leave that there permanently?
He has said not.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes.
I just want to say that I myself always use that back road to get into McDonald's, and the other day I went to go and I was like, this isn't good. And several people, I agree with him, several people are saying, can you believe they blocked the McDonald's entrance? I don't think as many people use the CVS one, but because of the big holes. If there weren't big holes, I would absolutely use that back road, and I have never seen anyone speeding, and it's never been an issue, there's never been traffic. It was just, it would facilitate me using those two, because coming off of, if you come through the back way and you make a right in, it's easy. Right after school, when school lets out, or right after church on Sunday, trying to make a left into that CVS parking lot is crazy. It just was so much easier. And I used to use the CVS back way until the holes got ridiculous. But I definitely was almost on a daily basis using that McDonald's side. And now I went to go the other day and I was like, well, not liking this. And many people have said the same thing to me. Can you believe they
Could I
blocked
ask
it?
you a question?
Yeah.
Are you using McDonald's parking lot for a roadway?
No, to go into McDonald's.
That's the only time you use it?
Yes, I never use it as a cut-through. I mean, I'm going to either because of Walton Gently Used, that's where people meet, or we go into the drive-through because she likes the mango smoothies on a really hot day. I like to go through there and get her one.
Unfortunately, you probably are the exception to the rule.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't see people just drive through. And sometimes I'm sitting there waiting for my Walton Gently Used purchase things, and people, I don't see people speeding through, and I get there early, I got magazines, and I'm just saying, I didn't realize until it happened to me that I was like, oh, this is frustrating. Because now I gotta get back on the main road, try and make that left, that section right there in front of Big M and all the little stores there, it's hard to turn the opposite direction. So I just want to back up what he says so you don't think he's the only one saying it. I didn't come to say that tonight, but I'm like, oh yeah, that. I'm very upset about that. I don't like that. It's making it harder for me to get into McDonald's.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next now. Is there anybody else who wants any public input? Actually, did they have a spot on here?
No.
Oh, we didn't, okay. Go ahead, ladies.
Good afternoon, I'm Cookie Richards. And I'm Madison Reed. We're from Girl Scout Troop 30081, and we are doing a Bassett Park project, and we're doing a Bassett Park event at the end of this month, September 29th, 2019. From 12 to 4, we're doing a community event to not only showcase our improvements to the Bassett Park, but to have a nice community get-together. Now, there has been a park fee to use that, and we're here.
We're here to respectfully ask to have the $25 fee be waived.
Okay. When's the event again?
September 29th.
29th? It's a Saturday? Sunday?
Sunday.
Okay. Gentlemen, what's your pleasure?
They've put in work and made the park nicer, and I am certainly in favor of waiving the fee.
We got a letter from our lawyers saying what we need to do is come up with a policy so that we don't run into this when a not-for-profit organization wants to use our facilities. We can waive the fee for something like that, but we have to make it a policy rather than taking it on a case-by-case basis.
Dick, can you speak up just a little bit?
I'm just saying, we have to have a policy that says this will be done. They don't have to come and ask. If they're a not-for-profit, that we can allow them the use of the facilities for no fee. We can make that a policy, but we can't give it to one and not give it to another.
We were thinking that we should ask because it's a community event.
Yeah.
So.
So
No, I understand your
I think
request.
it's, like you said, it's something we should do for you girls. Yes, absolutely. But we're gonna also come up with a policy that, so you guys don't have to keep coming back in and doing this every time. So, you wanna make it a motion?
I move that we waive the fee and get together to make a formal policy on the matter.
Okay.
I second that.
Okay, motion made second to waive the fee and get set up to do a policy for further use in the future. In favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I just had a quick question regarding that event, because they've asked me to provide music for the event. Is there electric available, or do I have to provide a generator? I just go plug in somewhere? Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
It's wired.
Wired for sound. Okay, anything else under public input? Okay. Abstracts and bills and invoices. Everybody's had a chance to take a look at the abstracts and the invoices?
I have. There are lots of bills this month, and I move that we pay them.
Second?
Motion made second to pay the invoices and abstracts. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Department heads. Bill Brown.
You're gonna be late.
I'll be quick. Handout this month, the I&I, a couple things at the wastewater plant, I&I we've talked about a number of times. We put an application in earlier this year to try to get some funding to get a better handle on that. Hopefully December brings good news. There's a flow meter in a CBUD building that needs to be replaced, and some piping associated with it where the chlorine injectors are. It's getting pretty ratty. So we're going to work with the plant and get some quotes and present that hopefully next month. Shepherd Street has been moving along. The guide rail and soil nails are installed. We do have an invoice from Geostabilization International. Was a contractor who put the soil nails in. They did that work as they're the county bid contractor for that type of work, so we piggybacked on that contract. So you do have the invoice in the amount of $73,200, which matches the initial PO and proposal that they gave us.
Need a motion?
Motion to pay
We
that.
pay it.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
We can put that towards the grant that was awarded to the village for the overall work up there, so we can do a drawdown with this and the soil or the guide rail to get some dollars coming back.
Yep.
the water system. We've talked about a few times an application to EFC to try to get some funding to do repairs to the water system. Last year, the board approved a project to replace water mains, do some repairs to one of the Curry wells, and some repairs to the 2 tanks. That application wasn't successful last year, unfortunately. The state does have that program open again currently. Basically, the application from last year would roll over. They did send out an updated form to fill out, which we've done, so that if the village wanted to continue that application. The total project cost is estimated at $2 million. It would be a 60% grant, and then the remainder would be a long-term loan through EFC. So the background on the project was approved by the board last year, and then this is to basically try again.
Move we approve it, the application.
I second.
Okay. Motion made, seconded to approve sending the application out again. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. What else you have, Bill?
That's all I have to ask for. There's a few updates on some of the different CWC stuff. We're working on the feasibility studies and the Third Brook Bridge, some different stuff there. That's all I have to ask for, other than if I could get your John Hancock, we'll send this in this week.
I can do that. Right here, right now. 9/19. Perfect. That'll work for you.
That's it.
Off to your next meeting?
That's the next one. Thank you. Have a good
Yes,
night.
you too.
Thank you.
Butch, Superintendent of Public Works.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm assuming everybody got my email. We had a little disagreement with the computer today. Any questions on anything at all, or?
Just about putting the leaves back on the tree.
Yeah.
And you want to ask permission to go to the NICOM conference in October?
Yep, it's October 21st or 23rd, I think, right?
Remember what the total was on that to go?
I didn't have
Have a
that.
dollar amount on that?
They
What's the
didn't
mayor's
have it
conference?
posted
Didn't have
yet.
it posted yet?
They haven't posted the prices on
I
it?
haven't posted yet.
Last year was around $1,400, I think, with the room and travel and all of that.
What time of October is it?
No, we're not paying for the park.
What part of October is it? Towards the end, middle?
21st to the 23rd
Okay.
in
So-
Ithaca.
So we can do that in October once we get
You'll need
pricing
to get signed up.
for that?
All right.
Okay.
You want to do it in an amount not to exceed?
Yeah, let's do it that way. What's the amount we want to see? 1,500?
Yep.
Okay. Somebody make that a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve attendance at the conference.
Not to exceed
Not to exceed
1,500.
1,500.
Okay. Second.
Motion made and seconded to do that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. What else you got, Butch?
I think that's pretty much it. Everything's going pretty good. We've had one water main break. We had repaired a couple water shut-offs. Matt's been looking for water leaks. We had using some water here recently, so we think we found one here on North Street. We're gonna keep plugging along with Shepherd Street when we get time, catch basins and that kind of thing.
Yep.
Trying to do some blacktop patchwork. We got a couple sidewalk issues to take care of pretty soon. Unfortunately, we'll be picking leaves. We're gonna try to avoid that, so I won't put them back on the trees before we have to.
Right.
Everything else is going fairly well.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
Okay.
Done. All right.
Yes.
Brian,
Thanks.
Can I mention something about Shepherd Street?
real quick, brief.
Yeah, just around the bottoms of those posts for the new guardrail, I think those will hold up a lot better if you get some kind of sealant around those, because when water gets down inside there, it's...
Right, we'll be blacktop.
They're gonna be blacktop all around them once they get, they're gonna have a berm on that side, so they're gonna have blacktop everything. Hi, Brian.
Hello. Well, season's over. Goodbye.
Season's over, goodbye.
Yeah. Everything went well this year. We're open 70 days and we closed 3 the whole summer.
That's good.
350 kids basically took swimming lessons. Arts and crafts had about 130 kids, 31 basketball was an average of about 18 a day, and it was 6 weeks, 4 days a week. Tennis, we went from 3 kids. In the end of the program, we had 12 kids, so that went up some. And field hockey ran for 1 week with about 4 kids. So, other than that, everything's getting buttoned up and just mowing now, keeping up in the mowing.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Any questions, anybody?
No.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
For your benefit, do you need some picnic tables over in Bassett Park? Would you like some? Or you can be upper Bassett or lower Bassett? Lower. Yeah, I'll get some picnic tables over for you. 29?
Yes, please. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Jason, Cedarwood.
You guys get my report?
Certainly did.
Any questions?
No?
We had a meeting over there with Kraft and a plant tour with a new manager and the new people in charge, and went over the spill protocols that we would like to see. And last night they lost about 24,000 pounds of skim milk, and the phone rang. So we had somebody in there early this morning diverting flow. So we were able to capture it. So that worked quite well. So it was a beneficial tour to have them over there. Otherwise, that could have significantly caused some serious problems.
Yeah.
So the plant the EQ tank was white when the operator got there, but he was able to swap tanks and isolate it all there and send the influent flow a different direction. So I looked when I got here tonight. The plant is running awesome right now, so it didn't have any impact to the plant. So hopefully that keeps up. They seem to be pretty receptive that night. We talked to them about different things, so hopefully we'll have a better working relationship going forward, and we can alleviate some of the problems we've had in the past. Like the possible wave that came over there in July that caused the issues the entire month of August. We had issues early on, tail end of July, early August we had issues, which is what sparked the tour,
especially with new management. And so they were pretty receptive about the whole thing.
Yep, it seemed to go pretty well. Other than that, the plant's running quite well. We've had installations take place of our grinder, the conveyor belts, that stuff. The grinder's working very well. We've pulled the influent pump the last 2 weeks and found nothing in it.
Nice.
We're pulling the RAS pumps twice a week now, so instead of pulling
Well, like you said, it's going to tell them
2 pumps twice, it's 1 pump twice.
It's going to take a while to get everything that's already in the system worked through and get out.
Right. So
that's good on the influent
It's
pumps.
definitely good on the influent pumps. We're going to keep pulling them weekly here for a little while just to make sure, and then probably go bi-weekly, and then maybe once a month just to make sure in case we, unless we have problems. But so far it's working very well, so that's very good. And the sludge conveyor took about 2 days. That's working really good. So that last one lasted about 15 years. I'm not saying it's going to last 15 years, but at least we bought some time on it, so that's good. Other than those items, I do have 4 purchase requests this month. We do have money for all of these purchases. The first one is for Tom Ellis Heating and Air Conditioning to install glycol in the sludge building heating system. Those boilers are outside, and there's a pipe that runs between the sludge building and the boiler building. So
and it has froze before.
And it has.
I've been there when it froze.
Yeah, it has frozen in the past, and we had some serious problems. So we're requesting to get that glycol in there at a cost of $3,300. That's an 80% village, 20% city cost.
Move we approve the payment.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made second to go ahead and approve that. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The second is for Taggart Electric to replace some output filters on the influent pumps. When we installed the new influent pump a couple months ago, we noticed the circuit boards on these filters were getting very black and just weathered. So we had a couple different people look at them, and they said, well, they're going to work until they don't anymore. So that's really not the best answer you'd like to hear. If those things fry, then the influent pump shut off, and that's catastrophic. That's what runs the plant, is those pumps. So Taggart Electric gave us a price of $3,392 to replace both of the filters on those pumps. That's also an 80% village, 20% city cost.
I move to replace the filters.
Second.
Motion made second to replace the filters. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Okay.
Third, the hoist that we use to pull the influent pumps predates me. I've been there 17 years. This hoist is getting to the point where it does not want to pick the pumps up anymore, and there's some concern of it possibly freewheeling when that pump's in the air. That's a $28,000 pump. So we over budgeted on another item on a tank repair. I'm asking that we were able to replace that hoist with a new one from McMaster Car for $4,954.41. This is also an 80% village, 20% city cost. We do have money for that in our building maintenance.
Move we approve that.
Second.
Motion made seconded to purchase the hoist. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
And last, the volute in our RAS pump, that's the pump we're pulling weekly for the rags, is greatly wore. We're looking to get one on standby so we can change it out when the need arises. This can be attributed to the grit that was going through the plant prior to the grit screw installation, and of course the rags chewing it up all the time. This is a $3,978 part. That's an 80% village, 20% city cost as well.
Anybody?
Move we approve it.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to purchase the volute for the RAS pump. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
That's it for me.
Thank
Good
you.
on that.
You're welcome.
Steve's not here. Chief?
So everybody got my report, right? Fair was pretty good. It was busy. There's a lot of people this year compared to last year. We doubled our traffic hours from 64 to last year was only 33. So we were in traffic quite a bit, whether it was the possible tornado Thursday night or the Friday Derby traffic. We spent a lot of time in traffic this year. So, but everything went well. There wasn't very many. There was actually no major complaints or anything that was out of the ordinary. So that was good. The one thing I was looking at Friday night especially, it seemed like everybody was in a rush to get to the fair. So not to touch on a bad subject, I don't want Keith to like jump on me or anything, but it seemed like everybody was trying to use the Water Street access this year. So that, and I was looking for, I know we used to have the the crosswalk, and we put from the DOT. So next year we'll have those ready for, don't cross or don't let the pedestrian cross in the crosswalk. We actually did issue one ticket this year for that. It was pretty blatant what had happened, so we issued a ticket for that. The other sign I was possibly looking at too, it seems always a problem by Danny's. Everybody wants to come up as close as they can and block that, and Danny's is very busy during the fair, so they're busy all the time, but even more so during the fair with all the traffic. So I was looking, maybe we could put a sign there just to like stop here and do not block intersection or something. It might keep the traffic flowing.
I thought there used to be a sign
Why
there.
the state doesn't put one in
Didn't there
there?
used to be a sign there a long time ago that says do not block?
Don't block the
Don't block
intersection.
that street up
Garden,
towards the post
yeah,
office.
yeah. I thought there used to be a sign hanging out there that said not to
One-way
block it.
street, and I think you're right. I think there used to be
Yeah.
a sign there, do not block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking if, I don't know what the DOT has or what we could get, but
I'll talk to Rich Heiser and see if we can get something.
we just had it there for that week where we could control the traffic a little bit more, and
It'd
then.
help all the time. You don't get there's a small traffic jam occurs every time somebody wants to turn.
Well, that's true too, yeah.
But yeah,
But you-
that's state highway, they'll do that.
Right, okay.
Rich is gonna be here next week, so I will see if that's something he can do for us.
Those are the two big problems that we seem to run into. Water Street did back up quite a bit, quite a few times this year. Everybody was trying to get through there, thinking it's quicker, and it's really not. We don't man Water Street, so it's, we're moving traffic as fast as Fair can put them on.
Yep.
So, those are my only really concerns as far as traffic control. I think we can do just a little bit better maybe next year.
Okay,
Other than that, I don't really have anything else.
nice. Any questions for him?
No?
Okay,
Okay.
Thank you.
trustees reports. Everything?
Brian covered it pretty well with the parks, so, as he always does.
Okay.
And in the theater, the lobby floor tile has been replaced. It was damaged after the flood, and apparently the contractor then did a poor job, so they've fixed that. Bill Hoyt was hired to replace everything from the outside border inward. Work was started and completed over Fair Week, and now the floor looks great, and the old problems are gone. They're working on the budget for the balcony reservations so as to be able to go after grants. Had a successful kickoff fundraiser at the fair. They showed the model of what the new tables were hopefully going to look like. A smaller version of that model is currently on display in the lobby. That's what's going on
Okay,
up to the moment with the theater.
okay. Dick, anything?
No, I haven't got anything right now.
Okay. For me, we have an appointment for the Zoning Board of Appeals. We are going to be appointing John Clark. He resigned from the Planning Board and has moved over to the ZBA. So he will be appointed official starting tonight. And then we've also had a spot open for John at the Planning Board, and Tim Gutleth is going to be appointed to take his place. I don't remember offhand, Lily, you remember your terms we talked about earlier?
They're both filling vacant terms. Gutlett on Planning Board will go until 5/20/22, and John Clark till 5/20/21.
Okay, thank you.
Motion from the board to approve your appointments.
I move that we approve those appointments.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the appointments. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Is there a public list of people on both those boards or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Could I get a copy?
If you want it from me, it's gonna cost you. Just kidding. It's gonna cost you $20. Just kidding, yeah.
Well, I'm
It's
going to
also on
charge
the-
it to
it's also on the internet.
the mayor.
Okay. Well, you can't. I'm charging you.
Freedom of information, free
Well-
is free.
Nothing's for free. It costs you somewheres. All right. The 2021 Summer Recreation Agreement with the Town of Walton. We've always got one from every year that we do with them, and it's going to be the same. It's the $32,000 that they put in towards the recreational area up in the park and the programs that we put on for the summer. So we need a motion for
Move we
that.
approve that.
Pardon me?
Move we approve it as written.
A second.
Motion made second that we approve the summer recreation agreement with the town. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. The JCAP grant. The court wanted permission more or less from us to seek out grant money towards, and I know there's a list there of things he's got. I don't remember what it was. He's looking at doing a $30,000 grant to possibly go for an elevator, the jury box, the air conditioning upstairs, or replacing some of the old double doors and stuff that are upstairs. So he wants permission from us to go ahead and get the grants.
Move we approve the application for a grant.
Certainly. Second.
Okay, motion made, seconded to approve the grant funding, or excuse me, application. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right.
Second session.
Yep. Let me run us to executive session, please.
For what reason?
contracts. We have 2 contracts, nothing that we're going to just make a decision tonight, but we need to discuss some stuff on them, so.
I move that we go into executive session.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to go into executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Before you go, can I have a copy of Steve Dutcher's report, please?